Alright lads, we're back again. This week it is UFC fight night, Sterling versus Zalal. I don't know why it doesn't sorry, Yusuf Zalal versus Angela Sterling. I'm not sure why I had to think about that. But anyways, look, I'm not gonna waste too much time. Last week we actually done something we haven't done in the video. We went perfect. We landed everything. It's a good week. Charles Jourdain didn't really have the performance I was expecting, but still got a decision, so there's no issue on it. But I'm not going to waste too much time. We're going to get down to lock of the week.
Here is Ryan Superman Spann!
Yes, lads. So this week's lock of the week will be Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann is fighting Marcus Bachea. Now, personally, look, the way I'm going to look at this fight is the way that Marcus Bachea has fought so far in MMA. No real striking, pretty poor gas tank. And yes, he's a BBJ black belt, and he's been a very, very good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner for years. But it's over-reliance on it. He doesn't have the strength to be able to take down a lot of heavyweights. It's one of those ones where he's 6'2" and really only knows trips and trying to get into grappling more situations on the side of the cage to trip. Doesn't really have a wrestling game and no real striking game. The Martin Buday loss, that was just exhaustion, and then the Kennedy draw is very lucky because Kennedy got caught by grabbing the cage. So if we go over and obviously look at the stats, I'm going to break this down a tiny little bit more. 5 pages only open because again I have to research for these. So, where's the fight? There it is. So it is 6'2" versus 6'5", 2-inch reach advantage. 1.7 strikes landed, 3.1, 2.7 to 4.1. The defense is pretty much the same. The takedowns are pretty much the same. See, 16% on actual takedowns is really poor. If we go in and look at Bachea, he's had 3 takedowns against Kennedy, came later in the fight. That's where the defense grabs came from, 24 to 27. And then Martin Buday, getting outstruck by Martin Buday is really poor. You have to think that Martin Buday was 7-1 in the UFC but got released for how boring he genuinely is. That's kind of criminal to say that you were outstruck by Martin Buday. But this is the thing. Bachea has absolutely no striking. Of course, Ryan Spann recently moved up to heavyweight. He is taking his fight on short notice. He has fought Waldo Acosta, who, of course, is going to knock him out. And then, of course, he's submitted Lucas Bresky. Now, I'm not going to say that Lucas Bresky is exactly the top heavyweight, but we've seen him fight so many other people. Like, again, this was a split decision against Anthony Smith. Still, Anthony Smith was at the top at this point. Krylov was still in good form. He's beaten Dominic Reyes, Kuti Laba. He's also Smith twice. A lot of these are subs and knockouts. He doesn't really ever go to decision very, very often. If he does, it's a sloppy fight. Again, I think this fight probably lasts around 5 minutes. I'm not going to say that I think this goes over the first round. I think Ryan Spann has enough real technicality to be able to finish him. I think Ryan Spann's the man. I think he'll be able to take this down to 6-5. There's actually no finishes in this week either, so let me go down to the favourites. So here we are inside the favourites. Now look, I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because I don't really think there's much talking needed. Davy Grant, crafty vet, fighting Andrea Luna Martinelli. Now, if he's as bad as Gabby Martinelli in the Premier League, then we're all safe. But I don't think he will be. I think he's a very, very explosive striker with 15-minute cardio. But I do believe that this is a Davy Grant, crafty vet, grind out sort of performance. I'll say 29-28 Davy Grant. Next, we move into Michelle Montague. I think so you say her name, or look, let's just call her Michelle. Michelle is fighting Maribana Silva. Maribana Silva is currently on a 4-loss streak. Now, again, it is against a lot of the top 15, but basically every female inside that division has won one fight is top 15, so it's not very, very surprising to me. I'll go pretty easily here. I'll just say Michelle 30-27. There's no real point to wasting time. Next, moving to Jackson McGurvin. Now, look, I don't really have to say anything. He's 0-2 in the UFC. He is fighting Dumas. He has shown even in the Zachary Reese fight, a different referee that fight's probably stopped inside the first round. I think again he'll probably get a first round finish in Dumas. There's no odds on it because, to be honest, one of us watching this video could probably finish Dumas in the first round. Let's not waste time. He has more convictions than wins and even fights in MMA, so it's a waste of time. Just wait for him to go 0-4 and be cut. And then we'll go down to Jafilio. Jafilio's coming in here 2-13. Jafilio's maybe a little bit overpriced on the odds here, but again, I don't see him losing to Cody Durden. Cody Durden is someone that doesn't have a very long fight time, but again, he's on a 0-4 run. He hasn't looked great in any of his fights. I can't say anything. João Filho probably just dominates him on the ground. Maybe there's a finish in it, but I'll say 29-28. I'm not going to waste my time. And we will move into the underdogs. So this is where it gets a little bit more interesting, as we will go Rafa Garcia versus Alex Hernandez. Now I think Alex Hernandez has picked up some good wins recently. Alex Hernandez has beaten, Austin Hubert, Kurt Holloway, Chase Hooper with a finish, and Diego Ferreira with a finish. He's got his striking back. He looks a bit faster than he was. The striking is back. His confidence is back after the, of course, the bad loss to Cowboy Cerrone that kind of derailed everything for him. But again, I think coming into this fight, I think Rafa Garcia is just a more palpable striker with the better wrestling. I think the power's on the side of Hernandez, but I can feel that the grindingness coming out of this would be Rafa Garcia. They're both, it's 5'7" versus 5'9", 2 inch each advantage for Hernandez, 13 minutes versus 10. They both actually have the same strikes landed at 4.31 and 4.31. Not much different in the absorbed 4.5 to 4.5. And the takedowns is heavy on Garcia's side. They both have high takedown defense. I just think Garcia's going to be able to grind it out a little more, get a lot more takedowns and be able to do it. I think Rafa Garcia's beaten the higher competition. Jared Gordon, of course he lost to Grant Dawson, but Clay Guida, Machete, they both haven't beaten a lot. I would say Rafa Garcia probably a bit higher. Again, he has more finishes. He's someone that, will get it done on the ground. I'll go with Rafa Garcia just for his wrestling. I think he's the better 50-minute cardio. I think that's something that still kills Alex Hernandez. And we move down to Aljamain Sterling into the main event. Personally with Sterling, it's a weird one because I don't think Zeus of Zalal is that good. I've said this for a very, very long time. His name is the obviously Moroccan Devil. I like to call him the Moroccan Roadrunner because all he does is run around the octagon for half his fights. If we look at who he's beaten in Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett, they're not great wins. They don't really age well. Jack Shore, yeah, it's a finish, and then the 2 finishes on Billy Q and Jono Arons. He just hasn't fought someone at the top level. Because again, he uses his grappling quite a bit, and you expect his grappling to be one of the things that he gets. He gets a lot of submissions, he gets a lot of takedowns. If you try to play this game with Aljo will always win this wrestling exchange. Aljo probably at this point has the better striking than him. I think Aljo's actually worked a lot better on his striking. Aljo's a 4.4 land, he is a 3 land. Dave is sort of 2.2 to 1.7. Again, 1.7 is only because Zal runs around the octagon. It's going to be very hard to do in 25 minutes. If it was 15 minutes, I'd lean towards Zal a lot more, but I think you're giving 25 minutes, you're giving me Aljo. They both realistically have the same takedowns. He does go for more submissions, but I don't think Aljo's the type of person to get caught in them. I think Aljo's going to be fair enough to be able to win this. I think Zalal will probably just run around the octagon too much to where I think this will be a late finished, maybe round 4, maybe round 5. I'll take Aljamain Sterling to do that, and then we'll move down to Eric Meccano. Now, Eric Meccano is an interesting one because I don't genuinely think that Rafael Vieira is that bad. But again, his high kick loss to Bo Nickel, he's lost to Andrzej Petrowski. He's really only beaten the bottom of the barrel of this division, like Tyson Gore, Armin Petruzian, Cody Brundage, Dustin Shursoff. Realistically speaking, he's lost to Anthony Hernandez, Chris Curtis, Bo Nickel, Andrzej Petrowski. He's lost to basically every challenge that he has. And personally to me, I think Eric Meccano is actually doing really well against Panzer Gahir before getting caught in the 3rd round. And yeah, his loss to Nursan Rozovic was a bit overrushed, and he has only beaten Cody Brundage in a split decision. I just think that realistically the striking's more on Meccano's side here. I think he's the person that will probably land more of the damage and get more of the actual stuff going. I will take him at the odds he's at. I think they're high, and I think they're juiced. I think they're worth taking. But anyways, if you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button or hit the subscribe button. The Aqua pays back 42 off 10. Obviously I can't show you, but anyways, everything I've said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.